creative process behind Fotia is a very special one. It was actually written the day after I signed my record deal with Sony Germany out in Berlin. And it was the day after, and I co-wrote it with Stolar and with Alexis Troy, who is a half Greek, half German producer. So that was really special right off the bat because I got to go into a room and in a space with somebody who speaks Greek, and Greek is my first language as well, and really understands the instruments and the vibe that have been going for in my music, which is blending my cultural heritage, my Greek heritage, with pop music and finding out what that sounds like and creating something that feels authentic to me. So it was really, really special writing it with him. And Fotia is Greek for fire. And the song is basically just about following your passion and following your heart. For me, it was, again, like such a pivotal moment because I had just signed a record deal for the first time. And a year prior to that, I was still in a full-time job. So much had changed, and for me, taking the leap of faith when I was laid off from my job and deciding to go into music full-time is kind of what the song is about, and following that fire and letting go of control and seeing what happens. It was inspired from my experience, so it was also, I always kind of talk about it as there's two aspects of my experience that Fotia ultimately came from. One is that experience of taking the leap of faith and leaving my teaching job, which I did love. By the way, I did love being a teacher, but there was always something inside me that I've always wanted to see what would happen if I could give music 100%. So when I was laid off, it gave me the opportunity to leave without having to choose to quit. And the other side of it is it actually tells the story of my love story with Stolar, who's my creative partner, and the whole idea of, in the beginning, holding back, not wanting to admit anything, not wanting to show anything, but then ultimately letting go of control again and taking a leap of faith in finding love. I've been taking my Greek heritage and blending it with my love of American pop music because I grew up with both. I grew up in a household where my mom's Italian American and my father is a Greek immigrant off the boat from an island in Crete. And he was also very involved in various Greek organizations in the United States that kept culture alive, and he would be in charge of bringing various concerts and musicians over from Greece for people in the US to connect with and to feel close to our culture. So I grew up around musicians being in my home playing traditional Greek music all the time as early as I can remember. And then on top of that, going to Greece every summer since I was a month old and spending 2 to 3 months there, living on a little farm with my grandmother and having a whole other set of friends and a whole other life and being exposed to a very different musical palette, all at the same time while being a kid in New Jersey and growing up going to New York City and being exposed to all these different cultures and different music that makes up American pop music. So when I was exploring my sound, it was like, what can I do that feels true to me? And for a while there, I was actually ignoring my like Greek sonic side, and I was just kind of doing a singer-songwriter thing. But it was really cool being able to use my language in my song as well, and I look forward to using Greek in other ways and seeing, maybe one day I'll do a song fully in Greek or not. I don't know. My live performance video of Fotia at the Velasco is out this week, and I'm very, very excited about it. It was definitely a process getting it together and making sure that everybody was COVID safe. We all were required to get tested before we could even enter the venue. So everybody had to get a same-day test, and it was also a very limited number of people that were allowed to be in the venue at the time. Mm-hmm. So that also meant that for my performance as well, like someday I look forward to having a full live band and 10 dancers up on stage with me, but we had to keep it very minimal. Mm-hmm. So Stolar is playing the bouzouki and running tracks, and then I was able to have 2 dancers with me. But I'm so proud with how it came out, even in its stripped down version. I think it's something really special. And it's also my first time having dancers with me on the stage. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about it. A fun little behind the scenes secret is that the live performance was inspired by the sunset scene from the Fotia music video. So if you've seen the Fotia music video, you'll see that the live performance is kind of similar vibe, and down to the styling and to the colors in the background. So that was intentional. So if you've seen the Fotia video, you might recognize what inspiration there was for this live performance. Yes, I definitely have new music coming out that I'm so excited about. You can definitely look forward to some features, and probably the first single will come out early 2021. You're looking at February, March-ish. There's no exact date yet, but I'm very, very excited because that'll be kind of the first one, and that's going to kickstart a whole new line of singles to follow.